Hello and welcome to the DFS underscore PhD show for today, Monday, the 21st of October. We've got a lot of football again. Remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. And hey, congrats, Rio. That's the second six-figure hit in a month for you. NHL, and look at that. Wasn't playing too many lineups there. So that's pretty impressive. As always, we're sponsored by PredictionStrike. You can use promo code PhD to get their best deposit match bonus. But boy, it sure doesn't feel great to keep picking losers, even when you pick losers that have a great argument for them. So, we got a pretty good little area over here where every week we talk about the MMA and stuff. And yeah, it used to work. Maybe it'll work again someday. But okay. So, I'm not making these videos unless I got a take. Didn't have a take for Thursday. Didn't really have a take for anything on Sunday. Well, today I got takes, guys. So welcome to the show. And I maybe we're gonna get some more sims. I guess I could go over to the Saber sim thing and see NFL lineup alert. Are they like, am I looking at really old? No, this is like their most recent sim was 7:30. I guess it's been a while. There will be another one once we get inactives, obviously. I'm not sure. I mean, I guess we got some news that is important, but I think we've had Rashad White's been back at practice all week. We're expecting him to play and be relatively not limited by that, right? So I'm not sure exactly what's going on with some of these projections. Number one, let's just go by ownership because that's where I first have concerns. I don't have concerns about Dobbins or Henry. They're fine. My concerns are Ladd McConkey. What? I mean, yeah, okay, he's fine, but like the chalk of the chalk, he's way up there. I don't think I'm going to be getting all the way up to where you guys are on Ladd McConkey today, just because. I mean, look what we're projecting. The native projection for Ladd McConkey is more points than Marvin Harrison Jr. Is that right, guys? I mean, like, is that because Marvin Harrison Jr. is questionable, or I don't know what that's coming from, but. Maybe it's filtering in. No, because like he's got to be a more popular bet, right? I don't get it. I don't have Ladd McConkey as good of a play as Marvin Harrison Jr., who I thought we all agreed was like kind of a generational talent after a couple weeks there. I know he's not getting, so it's thin. The reason it's thin is they don't have as much passing work, right? Of these two teams, there are two teams that will pass the ball and two teams that will not, right? So if you wanted to, you could be like, could be an extremist, and you could take out all of the Baltimore catchers and all of the Arizona catchers because they're just going to get less volume than the Tampa and LA offenses. I assume that's why we're getting so much Ladd McConkey, but that's not how football works. You just need one catch to go 90 yards and score a touchdown if you're Marvin Harrison Jr., right? So like I'm fully on the hype train for Marvin Harrison Jr. And if that's going to be a leverage spot somehow on a tiny slate, I mean, what is he, $1 million or something? I haven't looked at his price yet. Okay, he's $1 million. So he's 7,000. He's appropriately priced for a guy who's a star. You know what I mean? Like let's look at the salaries of wide receivers. Is there anybody else? Yeah, okay. Godwin, great. But I mean, I don't know with his workload this year if you could really consider Mike Evans the same level. Yeah, he's not going to be the same projection. I agree. So anyway, just make sure when you go through the projections that everything makes sense to you. And if it doesn't, like I don't know if I have Zay Flowers above these guys either. I might have to nerf. I don't Yeah, I don't think I have that passing attack doing that well. I might, I said I'm not going to take them out of the pool. I don't want them to be majorly a part of the pool. I don't expect that. I mean, is he getting crazy work? And I'm just like, okay. So if I have Baltimore up, I think, and if I go to targets, am I just missing? Like, okay, he's got a 9 and a 12. But I'm just saying, don't forget the range of outcomes for Zay Flowers is a 2 and a 4, guys. I mean, like. The guys in an offense where they don't want to do it. They don't want to pass the ball. Don't want to do it. Not at all. Like not to anybody. And when they do it, they want to do it to the tight ends. You know what I mean? Like it's not they'll throw Zay. Look at this. We got like Zay Flowers has outpaced the tight ends in pretty much well, not week 1, not week 4, but pretty much every week. But I mean, you know what I mean? We're squinting. We're like, has he outpaced all of the tight ends together? No, no, yes, yes, no. And he's like 50-50 to me. It's a weird situation where he's out there, yeah, but like he's not in the Sims, he is not priced this high, 6,700. And I think the Sims in this case are a reasonable representation of a long-term Baltimore offense. You know what I mean? So I just can't get there. So I'm going to have to reflect that I just don't think he's going to get the workload that is like, how many catches is this reflecting? I think he will get what, based on the number of targets we were just looking at. Let me do it without looking. So on the year, what's his median? Median would be 9, 3 above, 2 below. Oh, so it's between 9 and 10, 9.5. So 9.5 targets, he catches 5. Was that, are we getting 5 to 6? How many catches? They've got him with 5. Okay. 5 for 9 and like half a touchdown. No, I just don't give him that touchdown, right? Like on the year, receiving touchdown point 0.4, rushing touchdown point 0.01. Yeah. I guess that's saying every second and a half game he scores a touchdown. Okay. I just don't I can't have him be higher than Marvin Harrison Jr. Just on a like a rank order basis. He's not a preferred option to me today. So I'm not going to have him be a preferred option. Even though the numbers kind of I can't poke a hole in the specific number there. I just feel it feels wrong. Feels wrong. But I'm sure it's a volume thing, right? So that's where then why they're getting there. Okay, so I got one more take. I should get through the takes before I devolve completely and lose the audience. Sorry. So, and by the way, thank you as always for joining. We're over 300 subscribers now. When you like, you comment, I really appreciate that. It helps grow the channel, which I don't know if it's an end in itself, but we'll see. Eventually, we might do something. I see a lot of the guys I consider my mentor going over to various platforms and selling their betting advice. So maybe I do that if I keep doing this. I don't know, but for now, thank you for joining me. And I'm always going to do some version of the free show, free Patreon or free Discord, etc. And yeah, I just like the game. It's awesome that there's like hundreds of you who want to talk about game theory for anything. I mean, like for real, when I graduated college, there was not 100 people willing to talk about game theory for anything at all. Like I'm deceptively old. Thank you. But it's been a while and there was no DraftKings. Like this was in Boston before DraftKings. Okay, so all right. So my other rules, make sure I go through all my rules, are Baltimore RB, one of two, Tampa RB, one of two. So I'm on the tight end screen. I'll just go over this one and I'll try to remember the other ones as well. Kolar, Andrews, and Likely. You saw I had up Baltimore Ravens. Look at these targets. Charlie Kolar, okay, he didn't get any last week, but I don't know who the tight end two is between Kolar and Mandrews in terms of like actual work. I know that like probably historically or for reasons of money, they want to get Mandrews out there, but it's going away. Like we got a 33% week there where Kolar was at 41. There are game scripts where he's just going to get phased out of it. You know what I mean? So I can't. It's a one of three because they average 1.5 snaps, 150% of the snaps. But it's not like currently the way that I assume SaberSim's going to fix this, but the snap count's just not right. They've got it projected like the tight end one is Mark Andrews and the tight end two is Isaiah Likely, and it's just not right. Is it a target thing? I guess Mandrews got one more target 2 weeks ago or something, and based on one more target 2 weeks ago, we're projecting him to be the tight end one. No, and I mean like if you've watched the games, he is bad now, like not moving well. Not and I mean I'm prone to a little bit of dramaticism, what drama, but he looks old and like not like Kelsey old, like older than that, and he's not that old. So unless he like picks it up, I don't know what's the future for Mark Andrews, but it looks more like a Sam Laporta situation where like he's getting outplayed by random dudes. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, Isaiah Likely, not a random dude. I'm talking about Kolar. Kolar is outplaying Mandrews. Kolar is the reason why Mandrews is going to be out of a job. It's not Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely is just a better guy. He's just a better tight end. Like, if you watch any of the routes he's running, he's amazing. Like, they should run him in a lot. So that's why every single slate until he does pop again. I watched the first game. Did nobody watch that game? That was amazing. Like they're gonna eventually go back to those plays. You know what I mean? Like He's not running like you got whenever you got those two tight ends out there, right? You got Mark Andrews and you got Isaiah Likely. They're out there together a lot, right? We just did 150% of the snaps. So they're running routes together. And how does it go? Is Mark Andrews going to be the one who runs far, or is Mark Andrews going to be the one who runs short? He's going to be the one who runs short. Now, sometimes he'll fall in the end zone, but at this current age, you just don't have the upside for Mark Andrews that you do for Isaiah Likely. And I don't think you even have the median for Mark Andrews that you have for Isaiah Likely. So I have edited things. I have not edited Mark Andrews because I think he's got a fair like projection here, but just not fair. Like they're projecting a little bit lower Isaiah Likely projection than Mark Andrews. No, Isaiah Likely, if he gets looks, is going to smash, like smash, smash, not like little smash, like close to the best play of the slate is his median. If we get him in the 70, 80% of snaps role, which I mean, like, let's look. We've got a couple of games where he just got there, right? Like 67, 62, 70%, 70%. The last 2 weeks in a row, 70%, 70%. He's the tight end one. You know what I mean? Like I haven't looked, I probably should have hit the underdog alt boards before doing the show. I may do it before releasing the show and then tell you in the Discord about that. But there's going to be alt over opportunities for Likely. He's the tight end one. 70% of snaps. Like, do we even get that for other teams? Like, Cade Otton's getting 80% of snaps. We got like Payne Durham and Ryan Miller out there as much. You know what I mean? That's the comp. You want to comp for Mark Andrews right now? It's like Ryan Miller. You know what I mean? It's like nobody's. Yeah, like what will this? Yeah, he's the Eric Tomlinson of the team. He's like maybe is he out there for blocking even? He's just kind of he's losing his role. Okay, back to the other rules. The other rules that I'm reading the tea leaves and maybe I'm going stir crazy. I've stirred my tea a little too much or whatever. But if Rashad White is back, he's the RB1. Unless somebody no, I'm not. I should probably start paying for Coach Speaks Patreon because I recognize that he's a rightful Council of Dude member, and I never even he doesn't plug his Patreon enough, so I never remember to look. But Rashad White, if he comes back as the running back one, they're not comfortable. Like I looked up what Coach Speak had said about White and Irving over the summer, and basically I think it still holds up that they're not comfortable with Bucky Irving in pass protection, and they're not going to leave him out there in those plays. So Rashad White is going to probably be out there both for regular down work as the number one and in some situations where you might want to pass out of the backfield. Now, I did watch the games. I'm pretty sure I saw some Bucky Irving targets. Yeah, a little, but more Sean Tucker targets, more Rashad White targets every single week. There have been targets. So that's the problem. The Bucky Irving upside is not the case that Tampa is going to be playing today, right? That the Bucky Irving upside is the Tampa is smashing Baltimore. Maybe not sure, right? Like that not does not sound like the situation today, right? Now I'm saying I've definitely talked to myself. I don't want more than 30% Irving, and I definitely do want to be on this Rashad White. Yeah, because I don't believe it's going to be a Bucky Irving style slate. I think he's good. He's a good guy. He is a great back. He's a better back than Rashad White. If they got appropriate opportunities to their skill level, then fine. But that's not the situation that we have here. Okay, so I think I put them at exactly the same level, and the level I chose was James Conner because I think either one of them, whichever game style we're in, is a James Conner style back. They're the exact same median performing guys. Your Rashad White game and your James Conner passing back games are the same median. Your Bucky Irving smash and your James Conner on the ground smash games are the same game. There's not a difference. They're not better. One or the other. I think having Dobbins above Henry feels a little bit much. But I think the touchdown variance for Henry's been a bit crazy, right? Like, I mean, I don't think he's going to get 2 touchdowns every game. If you do, keep betting it. But I assume the reason we're getting him a little lower is that he just doesn't have those opportunities. And if you put him for less than like 2 touchdowns, he's just not going to get there. Yeah, so they got him for 1.1 touchdowns, which is fine. But even with just 0.9 touchdowns, Dobbins will get there higher. And I think that's fair. The only way that Henry beats Dobbins is on touchdown variance. Okay. The other thing is Baltimore has been winning a lot, right? And so we don't necessarily get exposure to what if Baltimore is losing. And that's why you see Justice Hill down here at 8%. So of the values on this slate that I will bang a table about, and the reason that I made this video for you is because I got something to say. And I'm never going to just like, oh, yap, yap, yap. The things I got to say are, what are we doing with Justice Hill? And what are we doing with Isaiah Likely? We cannot have these guys in single digit ownership today. Let's steam them up there. So, just take it away by edge. Oh yeah, by the way, the other edge today, it's a 2 game slate. Leave salary on the table. Do something weird. Take a defense that's opposed. Yeah, today let's talk about it. Oh yeah, make sure you do not have that rule. Do not have the rule. Don't use players against opposing defenses. Important today. Because today we have Lamar and we have Kyler. And these quarterbacks, man, right? I mean, like now granted, this is not I gotta not Sims. So in Sims, Lamar is terrible. He will fumble all the time. It's not the same guy. I know that he's better and more of a pocket guy in real life than he is in the Sims. But still, you can see the situation, right? Where Kyler or Lamar is getting a little too cute in the pocket, rolling, trying, thinking they can beat somebody, pulls it back, and before they can get the hand going, the ball's gone, and it's a pick six. It's a touchdown, and the game's still competitive. You know what I mean? Like you can have the negatively correlated defense today a lot more often than usual because it's a 2 game slate. Any crazy thing like that, plus maybe one of them is in a pass. If either of them gets in a situation where they have to pass, they're just going to be stacked a million times because they're not used to that and they can't like scramble like regular. You know what I mean? The only way they know to scramble is 100 yards right down the middle. So maybe we'll see if it works out that way. It doesn't always work out that way, but I wanted to make sure my anti-correlated defenses are allowed. That's definitely a way to get different. Leaving money on the table. Now, having a hard cap of 200, little much, right? Like I've got some of these contests are going to be single entry, 3 max. Probably don't have to hard max $200 on this table for contests like that. I think you should. I think it's good practice because even if you got a really good optimizer like right now, I think SaberSim is the best, so sharp right now. But it's not perfect, and you get stuck with a lot of dupes with other people using similar methodology unless you take some precautions. And so I don't recommend the Geo mean thing because it's a little too cute for a 2 gamer, but I do think salary restriction is a good way to get there. You can also, I mean, if you wanted to play with SaberSim's dupes, I did see they are projecting some number of dupes even for the classic slate. So dupes one, yeah, you could do a dupe limit, but for me, I don't think the dupes are going to send me out of a winner's circle type finish, and that's all. I mean, like, yeah, the number of the number of thousands is kind of irrelevant. You know what I mean? Like, this is not money that I care about that much. I just want to make sure I hit every level of winner's circle to pay for SaberSim as much as possible. So that's why we want, that's what I'm checking about dupes and stuff is I'm seeing, am I going to for sure set a minimum of $1,000? Not a worry. This is a big slate, got 500K up top, and even in the tiny competitions, it's like 30K up top, 10K up top. So, 5, 10 dupes, whatever it's going to be in this kind of competition, I don't really care. I'm doing a bunch of crazy stuff too. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to just play a milk toast, like 49.8 to 50K or whatever, like right in that range with no meat on the bone, maybe you take some dupe protection. But I think that mm, that's going to be reliant on ownerships too. So I don't know. I've never felt that good about using contest sims as the first way you figure out your ownerships, right? They should be in the mix as part of a big strategy, but you can't let them be your guide or else you're going to have like 95% Ladd McConkey. You know what I mean? Like that's obviously the right thing according to what SaberSim thinks for its contest sims. But you must recognize their contest sims are like one big pasture. And Stochastic has a big pasture of contest sims over here. And every little guy has their own little pasture of contest sims, which are the result of their simming the contest their way with their little Lagrangian set of parameters about how people play. And they're all, they are matching each other. So to an extent, they're similar. And a lot of people are going to wind up with Ladd McConkey because he's the number one wide receiver on that team. So you need that second order thing. And you know what? It would be a little bit interesting. I'm not sure I'm going to do it, but where is it? You could change the ownership so that your ownership today is not like normally I sort by ROI in contest sims, but I forget how to do this, but you could change, yeah, in the contest, over in the contest screen, you can change the ownership field lineups. And so I think it's reasonable in competitions like the biggest one, you know what I mean? Instead of using flagship MME, use your own build. You know what I mean? Try to take that next order step to um to beat the people who are playing like you. You know what I mean? Because it's fine to use the saber sub ownership or whatever if you're trying to tie with 15 people or 20 people because they'll get you there. But if you're trying to win against guys like you need to put guys like you as the people you're trying to beat in your sims. You know what I mean? So I don't think in a lot of these that's a reasonable assumption. For instance, single entry $1 or $3 or whatever. Take the low stakes, they've got really well curated ownerships here. Play with those. Let those be the ones. But when you're in the flagships, like I'm not sure I'm not sure it's important to properly weigh the ownerships in a flagship competition, or is it just important to beat the people who are playing right? I don't know. I sound off in the comments, but that's my current conundrum. Oh yeah, I forgot about all these other slates, so I'll stop talking about this one because geez, I've talked about it ad nauseum. You get my general point. I'm playing the good plays. I'm not playing the bad ones. I consider the good plays Marvin Harrison Jr. I guess K. Doughton. Yeah, he's in a passing. Oof, gross. So it's not Ladd McConkey day for me. It's K. Doughton day. Whoa, great. Don't feel awesome about that. So I'm dialing that back. I don't want it to be K. Doughton day. I think he's fine, but let's spread the tight end love around. I want to get more likely in there. Oh, I've limited my likely. I'm not going to limit him that low. I'm confident in this take. He's out there 70% of snaps. I'm going to be at least 50% likely. I might go up to 70% of snaps, right? I mean, 70% likely seems fine to me. So it's a crazy stand. Like the reason I'm not doing it is that 10x was already an absurd stand. Going over 10x is just nuts. It's just saying, I know better than you guys to the entire world, all of Las Vegas, right? So it's bad. This is bad. It's what I got, like inside of me. So, when you're playing with your gut, I'm the only guy that has to answer to that. You know what I mean? So my gut's telling me to jam him, jam him, jam him, jam him, jam him, jam him, jam him. So I'm going to jam him. Okay. That's all for the main slate. We're playing a lot of Isaiah Likely, and the more I look at that screen, the more Isaiah Likely I'm going to play. I got nothing to say about this primetime game. I'll tell you what the Sims say once they finish running. But I agreed, right? I mean, like the only thing I had to say about this game in the main slate video part was Marvin Harrison Jr. is underprojected. So I fixed it. And that's it. Oh boy. Hold on. Got some bets coming in. Looks like the slate is up for tomorrow. Ooh, I don't want to miss those. Well, yeah, actually, I got some down on that already. Okay, cool. All right, good. I like it when your process is good enough that, guys who pay for picks are doing the same picks you already picked. Okay, so now we go to, yeah, right. So I just got Marvin Harrison different, and in the cap. Oh yeah, the other thing I might do, and that I'm not sure about. I love the way that Simi Fehoko played last week. I don't know if you guys watched this game. He was fun last year, but he was good this year. Like I don't know if they're going to reward that. I mean, I didn't. Did I have Chargers up? I don't know if he started getting a bunch of snaps. He had 51%. He's like, I don't know. Was there an injury or something? He's been up at 72% when Palmer was out, but this was a game where Palmer was in, and it was a split, and that's the first one of those. So if you wanted to get cute, you could get cute and include Semi Fehoko on the main slate, and include a rule here to have kind of like max one of him and Palmer because Palmer's I like him. I would give him more opportunity as a player. But wow, okay. Never mind. Semi Foco is pretty owned on this showdown. Maybe that's a main slate thought. Go back to the main slate for a second and make sure I got my semi thoughts together because he's on the passing side. He's like on one of the passing teams. So if I don't have him in the pool, that's a mistake. Is he at least in the pool? And if not, we gotta click some buttons. He's in the pool. Okay. And wow, okay. Stone Min. Stone Min Simi Fehoko 50% of snaps. Yeah, gonna have some interest there. Now, what's holding me back is 24% of you guys. Jeez. All right. Okay, you guys got it. You're way ahead of me on this. Fine. All right, so I'm dialing it back. Number one, I'm going to double check that this is capturing audio. Okay, one of my cats likes to knock against the mute button. So It has happened before where I have clicked the button. Oh yeah, right. I was going to tell you in the LAC game, what did the contest sim say? So run contest sims for the game I have something to say about, but that they're not giving away much money for, and then tell you what contest sims slash within. Also, I didn't. This isn't a full space. I didn't include Herbert. I didn't include Disley, and I didn't include Vidal, but I did include some randos. And you can see 48.5, 49.8. I think there's no skin on the bone. It's a extremely tight slate, like the if very efficiently priced. Okay, so what do we got? We're still working on ROI. Okay, there we go. Okay, both directions had zeros, so that's fun. All right, James Conner, we're slamming him. Okay, sure. In the cases where uh Arizona is ahead and running the ball a bunch, yeah, 9.5%. That's a little low. 37%. That's a little high. Let's go to 25%. Dobbins, love it. Dobbins, I mean, like on main slate, I'm like 95. I'm like one minus injury percent Dobbins. That's where I'm at. I mean, what was there a snap count issue? I don't think there's a snap count. Ooh, Vidal did get in there, but I mean, 73% was also Dobbins' most work ever. So they might be ramping him up still. Who knows what that is about? Okay, Marvin Harrison. You know my stand, of course. Marvin Harrison. Kyler Murray, can't unclick him. As a captain, he could run in 10, like all of the touchdowns. I said 10. Probably not 10. Marvin Harrison Jr., no thanks. Only 80%. That's obviously a relic of me changing his projection. So let me see. What do I think for a 50-50 that Marvin Harrison Jr. has an absolute smash to the top game? So number one, let's have him be 5x on the captain. So I think it's pretty likely that he'd be that smash guy. And then 50-50 means I need 30% remaining Marvin Harrison Jr. in flex. And then I got my 50-50. Okay. Cardinals D. Do I feel no. Don't feel strongly about that. I think we got what 25% chance of a defensive touchdown. That's high. Right. Sacks on he's a pretty easily sacked guy, I guess. But I mean this is showdown. I mean, we don't have to pick a defense. You know what I mean? I think that's a bit crazy. I'll go 20%. I'll be slightly over the field to leave a residue of contest sims, but I don't feel that one in the heart. And I do feel the Semi Fajoko. So yeah, I'm leaving that over Ladd McConkey. Yeah. Okay. I like what happened when I did all these crazy things recently. So we're leaving this one and we're moving on. Captain. Yeah, I've already told you it's jamming. Okay, yeah, we've limited Connor to a reasonable amount. In Flex 2, we got 3 plus 70% chance of Connor. No, 3 plus about 35% chance of Connor. Yeah, so we'll match the field in Flex on Connor just because like his chance of falling into the end zone seems roughly well approximated by you guys. All right, rest of this is fine. Okay, now we go on to the fun game, Baltimore and Tampa Bay. And okay, make sure, yes. Projections, ownership is yes, correct. Okay, so now this again reminding you of my rules here. Max one Tampa Bay running back, max one Baltimore tight end, and I've changed the projections for these people. And as a result, what do we got here? This is the first time I'm seeing it too. Do not accept that this is a smart thing to do when you see these things or these lineups. I'm not sure I'm going to play any of them. I am going to rerun the Sims within 90 minutes of lock because you get information and they will resim it. And I will resim it. Okay, never let information pass you by. The Monty Hall problem applies at all times, before and after lock. It's not just late swap, it's up to lock swap, right? They're tracking Vegas odds all the time, and you need to be tracking Vegas odds as well. Okay, and if you're not, then just let SaberSim do it. Okay, so ton of Lamar. Okay, he's really good. This year he's not doing as many rush touchdowns, so a 25% cap on Lamar. But yeah, he probably is going to be the highest scoring guy on the slate. And if not, it's probably going to be Derrick Henry. So I'm fine with those being 25% chance each of optimal feels about right. But then we got to have the rest of the guys. And for me, that's definitely a lot of Rachaad White, a lot of Isaiah Likely, a lot of Justice Hill, because people are underestimating the likelihood of those game scripts. But I don't need to talk about that again because basically I'm saying Justice Hill is in the playing from behind game script. If you wanted to, you could make it so that Justice Hill only goes with like Bucky and that Derrick Henry only goes with Rachaad White, but that seems a little bit much. And they're going to have that built in. Like if I click on Derrick Henry and I look at negative correlation, it's going to tell me like correlation negative Bucky Irving, right? That's just what I was saying. I was just telling you that Rashad White will be favored over Bucky Irving in the Derrick Henry. So they're already on a 2% differential there. I'm not sure it's a little more than that. It feels a little more, but I'll show you. This is how I'm going to get different. I feel strongly that this is not efficient. I just told you I think the other slate is very efficient. I'm playing. You see in all the tweets, like in the tweet about this video, if you came here from that, I always say, what's the optimal pricing for a slate? What I'm doing there is I'm saying, how efficient do I think this distribution is? Is it really tight where there's like only you have to almost use up all your salary to win? Or do people just do that and there's no reason? Because sometimes people just do that and there's no reason because there's a ton of value out there. And I think we're a lot closer to case two for this second game. Because like let's look at the values. Oh, hmm. That's not it's not as exciting as I thought. Well, that sure didn't land that plane at all. I thought we were going to see some pretty big values, but no. Even with Charlie Kolar kind of boosted a little, we don't have that kind of value. So we don't probably need to get as cute as I'm getting here, 42.5 to 48. That seems a bit much. That's maybe a Rashad White out. Like if he gets ruled out, then you can do this. But this is Rashad White in. With Rashad White in, we don't need to get this crazy. So I'm going to rerun this later in a more appropriate region because I do think this is pretty efficient. I would have a huge value here, right? Something would be breaking the slate if it was breaking the slate, and I don't have anything breaking the slate. So that was based on some sort of idea I had about captain, maybe a cheap captain I like or something, but still, I don't really. What, Mark Andrews? No, that's not going to be 3%. Ugh. 3% Mark Andrews captain guys get there. Pray for the world, man. We don't need that kind of success. I think I saw a news item about Sterling Shepard. I'm going to look at that afterwards. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. I've said a zillion things to you guys. So remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. Might as well be us. And 500,000, 300,000, 100,000, take your pick. It's all pretty good.